For centuries, we've had these ancient Sumerian tablets sitting in museums. And for the most part, we've just written them off as myths and old rituals. But what if they're not? New AI-driven translations are starting to crack open these 4,000-year-old texts. And what they're finding isn't poetry. It's something way more unsettling. So let's dive into what this new tech is digging up. And that's really the big question here, isn't it? Because all this new information suggests that what we thought were just stories about angry gods might actually be something else entirely, like technical manuals, historical records, and really specific warnings that have been hiding in plain sight, just waiting for the right key. And it looks like that key is artificial intelligence. See, the core idea here isn't just that AI is translating words better, it's that it's seeing things we missed: patterns, grammar, hidden structures. It's basically rereading our own history and coming up with a version that completely challenges everything we thought we knew about the ancient world. Okay, so to really get a handle on what's being uncovered, we first have to ask, how is this even possible? Why is an AI seeing something that generations of human experts couldn't? Well, it's because this isn't just a better dictionary, it's a totally new way of reading an ancient language. So, this slide really breaks it down. On one side, you've got traditional translation. It's an art, right? It relies on a scholar's best guess, which often turns technical jargon into poetry. But the AI analysis, that's all about objective math. It's been trained on tens of thousands of these tablets, so it sees the entire system of grammar and patterns. And this is the crucial part. It flags language that reads like a set of instructions, not a story. It's kind of like the difference between reading a novel and reading an engineering schematic. And this new analytical power led to the first huge discovery. The AI started recategorizing tablets that we'd long thought were just religious hymns about the wrath of the gods. Turns out, they might actually be incredibly detailed records of recurring environmental and societal collapse. I mean, just listen to that line, reportedly pulled from one of those tablets. It's chilling. What it describes is a pattern where prosperity itself, through over-irrigation, cutting down too many trees, cities getting too big, predictably leads to total ruin, over and over again. They weren't just praying to the gods. They were documenting a fatal flaw they saw baked into the idea of civilization itself. And here's where it gets really compelling. The warnings on these tablets line up almost perfectly with a scientifically confirmed climate event we call the 4.2 kilo-year event. That was a real period of sudden, intense drought and societal collapse across the Middle East. It suggests the Sumerians weren't writing myths about a great drought. They were living through it and leaving a very detailed record for whoever came next. But the warnings weren't just about what was happening down here on Earth. As the AI kept crunching the data, it started flagging tablets that contained astronomical knowledge, stuff that was way beyond what we thought the Sumerians were capable of. It seems they weren't just watching the moon, they were tracking massive cosmic cycles. So get this, there was one tablet that everyone assumed was a simple farming calendar. Well, the AI re-identified it as a planetary tracker. It precisely mapped out the Great Conjunction cycle of Jupiter and Saturn. And the analysis suggests they weren't just watching it for fun, they were linking these cosmic events to cycles of collapse down here on Earth. And then it gets even weirder. This line comes from a tablet that researchers are calling the Sky Path fragment. The AI apparently reconstructed a star map from it that dates back to around 10,500 BCE, thousands of years before Sumer even existed. The map seems to describe zones of caution in the sky, like forbidden orbital paths, and it has this cryptic warning about a river of flame, which some astronomers think might be a reference to the ecliptic plane, the path the planets take through our sky. You see, the point here is that this wasn't just a map, it was a warning system. That final line is now believed to refer to a very specific alignment involving the constellation Orion, the Hunter. It's like a multi-millennia-old warning of some kind of recurring, destructive event, not written as a myth, but as a piece of celestial navigation. All right, if you thought ancient star maps were mind-blowing, buckle up. Because this is where the AI translations go from just observing things to providing actual instructions. The AI flagged several tablets that seem to contain step-by-step procedures for what can only be described as biological manipulation and some kind of advanced sound science. I mean, just look at this. These steps were pulled from a tablet found in Nippur, one that was always dismissed as just a fragmented ritual. The AI, though, it recognized the pattern as a potential process. Some analysts are even saying the logic is eerily similar to modern genetic sequencing, right down to lines that look like error correction. It's a pretty startling interpretation. Then there's something called the tablet of reversal. As part of the research, an AI was used to simulate how the text might have sounded. And get this, one phrase reportedly generated a low harmonic frequency that actually interfered with the lab's electronics. The sequence of syllables was found to be mathematically consistent with cymatic frequencies, the science of how sound can literally organize physical matter. And that warning on the tablet is what makes this so unnerving. The AI didn't flag this line as poetry. It flagged it as procedural. The implication is that these words weren't meant to just be read. They were meant to be triggered, a process to be executed. Okay, and that brings us to the final and maybe the most disturbing revelation of all. There was a heavily fire-damaged tablet from a site that had suffered some kind of catastrophic collapse. It was fed into the system, and what the AI found hidden in all these fractures was a precise description of something else. Before the AI could even make sense of the words, it flagged a number, just a number, repeated over and over with a precision that couldn't be random. So that number was 12, and it was repeated exactly 144 times. That's too specific to be an accident, right? It was a key, a signal pointing to a hidden message. And this is what the message described: beings formed by mimicry, not birth, copies without essence, things that look and sound human but hold no breath. The AI actually categorized this tablet as a non-biological agency warning. These things, these mirror ones, infiltrate society, they advise leaders, and they steer civilizations toward collapse, what the tablet calls the Great Silence. And this is where a 4,000-year-old tablet suddenly feels like it was written yesterday. The whole idea of a perfect copy that thinks but doesn't live, that's a direct parallel to our modern fears about advanced AI, deep fakes, and artificial consciousness. It's almost as if the Sumerians were leaving a warning about a danger they had already faced, one that we are just now beginning to imagine. The final line the AI could recover from the tablet is maybe the most terrifying. It's a warning about your very identity being stolen or overwritten, a thought so perfectly mimicked that you don't even realize it didn't come from you, a deeply unsettling end to an ancient message. So, after all of this, we're left with one massive question. Are we just looking at the poetry and myths of a long-dead civilization, or has this AI finally unlocked a lost history, a set of very precise, very technical warnings left for us by the people who came before? Honestly, the answer to that might change not just how we see our past, but how we think about our future.